I think the president's action on steel probably had something to do with the timing of the decline, but I don't think it was the factor which determined the amount of the decline. For some time, stocks have been rising at rather rapid rates. Corporate earnings have not been rising. Dividends have not been increasing, and it's not to be unexpected that perhaps a correction of some of those unusual factors on the upside might occur on the downside.
Well, some observers from time to time say that the stock market is a forecaster of events to come. Can you predict, or would you care to take a look at what you think this might be forecasting, the decline?
The stock market has been a good forecaster from time to time in the past. It also has been a rather poor forecaster occasionally. For example, the last 4 or 5 years, the stock market has been booming along and presumably forecasting better business, which has really not materialized. Corporate profits are not any better than they were 5 years ago, but stock prices are 50% higher or thereabouts. So maybe the stock market is really correcting a previous incorrect forecast this time rather than making a new correct one.
Well, in a nutshell, Mr. Buffett, can you give us your opinion of just exactly what happened, what caused it?
Well, there was undoubtedly some forced selling the week when the stock market hit the news. The previous week, prices had declined about 6% for the week on average, and there was some stock that was forced upon the market both by margin calls from brokers and some that was forced out by improperly secured bank loans. And this in turn set up a self-generating mechanism on the downside for a while, which we may have seen the last of and which we may not have seen the last of.
Hi, I'm Pete Andresen. I'm the author of the book Dollars and Common Sense. It's a book that's designed to provide you with the ability to manage your own money via mutual funds or to work with an investment advisor to manage your money successfully as well. Today I'm going to answer one of the most basic questions that I get all the time. What is a stock? A lot of people pretend that they know the answer to that, but they really don't. A stock is a piece of ownership of a legal kind of business, a legal kind of company called a corporation. A corporation is a company, a legal entity, that's divided up into a bunch of little bits. Those little bits are then sold out in some way to various investors, and those investors are the owners. Yes, it's true that there's some special interests, that there can be dominant shareholders, but essentially if you own a piece of that company in the form of some shares, if you own even a share of stock, you're a part owner. You might have just a tiny bit of that corporation's, say, factories or whatever, but you still own a little piece of that corporation. Stocks are also known as equities. Essentially, they provide liquidity and they provide ownership. And as I've said again and again, ownership grows and loaning doesn't. Look at this Morningstar graph. Owning something profoundly outperforms loaning money out. The same is true of real estate over the long term. Real estate is another form of owning something. So why don't we put it all in the stock market? Why don't we just invest in stocks? Because we know that over the long term stocks grow. So why don't we just put it all in the stock market and real estate and walk away? And the answer is that the stock markets of the world can be incredibly, incredibly volatile. They can fall 50% or more in a year. Now in the long run, that will even out and stocks will probably outperform, as they have for the last several centuries. But in the short run, it can be devastating, and people tend to do the thing which is worst for them, which is to sell out at the bottom because they psychologically can't take any more. And that's why we have a diversified portfolio. That is, diversified means we've got a little of everything, including some bonds, because bonds will keep you rich, even if they won't make you rich. But to finally grow your wealth, stocks are a vital component. Thank you.